Alon Yarol is the world's first discovered the origin of the universe. We are hosting Alon Yarol. Alon Yarol, this discussion is at your request. What brings you back to the studio? What happened to have an urgent discussion in the studio?
I'm here today to protect my copyright.
What happened? Why do your copyrights require protection? What is the danger of your copyrights?
I'm talking about the spacecraft Parker Solar Probe. Parker Solar Probe is an unmanned craft designed to be sent around the Sun in 2018. The spacecraft, designed in 2015 to be launched toward the Sun, is designed to orbit the Sun at a tremendous speed of 750,000 km per hour or 440,000 miles per hour. The problem is this. In 2015 the mission was. The Solar Probe Plus will carry 4 experiments into the corona and study the solar wind and energetic particles as they blast off the surface of the star. Today in 2017 the mission is to trace the flow of energy and understand the heating of the solar corona and to explore what accelerates the solar wind. The mission has changed. NASA executives are going to have a victory for themselves at my expense.
What do you mean? Why is this at your expense?
In 2015 there was an intention to check the storms across the Sun. Now in 2017 we are talking about testing a catalyst for storms. What accelerator can be a storm except for an external factor? I mean the black hole on the Sun. This is my discovery. If in 2015 the intention was to check why the corona heat was much higher than the surface of the Sun, and in the end to explain it in some microwave phenomenon in the corona. Today in 2017 they are talking about a catalyst for storms across the Sun. In 2018 they will not tell how to explain the real reason. But this is my discovery. All of this when the answers are clear today, while evading payment of my copyright. It seems to me that NASA managers are preparing a victory for themselves at my expense. Until recently I thought in the world that I had a strange theory. Today, after proofs that I have provided of the existence of the black hole that spills stardust into the Sun, the picture has changed. Many astronomers gather in their belief that the universe was created in a different way than in the Big Bang theory. Many understand that my discovery of the origin of the universe is the right one. NASA intends in 2018 to explain how it is possible that the Sun's corona is warmer than the surface of the Sun, rather than rationalizing it with some microwave phenomenon in the corona. The answer is clear. Stardust is saturated with energy is the one that ignites and reignites the Sun all the time. The Sun's atmosphere is warmer than the surface of the Sun, because the black hole on the Sun spills stardust, mass, oxygen, and new energy into the Sun. If it were not a black hole close to the Sun and sending stardust to the Sun would turn off and become to a regular star. The direct conclusion is that the Sun's source of heat is external. NASA will find it difficult to prove the existence of the black hole on the Sun. Stardust is hard to see from space because of its small size, and when Parker Solar Probe will make one orbit around the Sun every 25 days, they will not be able to gather unequivocal data. Simultaneous testing of several telescopes around the Sun will only result in mapping the black hole on the surface of the Sun.
So what is your argument?
I argue that the new missions of the Parker Solar Probe have been modified and based on my discovery of the origins of the universe to ensure success for NASA.
Then what do you want?
My copyright is taken from me without permission and without payment. Copyright has been offered for sale many times around the world to heads of state. NASA and the White House and Donald Trump in his election campaign were invited to purchase copyright. I want NASA to pay for the copyright. Do not you find it strange that for millions of years no one has discovered the origin of the universe, and suddenly within a year of my publication, solutions like mine come to solve the origin of the universe?
Do you mean NASA should pay for copyright?
Yes, NASA has to pay.
Are you sure there was an intention to rob you of the copyright?
Prior to setting the goals for Parker Solar Probe in 2017, NASA executives already knew about the likelihood of the existing black hole on the surface of the Sun. In a government company as big as NASA it is difficult to generalize. It is very likely that the information about my discovery of the origin of the universe reached NASA scientists and managers without knowing the copyright or even my name. The tasks may have been modified without the knowledge that they are copyright.
You say that President-elect Donald Trump sent a proposal to sell the copyright. Why did you do that?
Donald Trump set out on an election campaign to make America great again. I thought it was a great way to make America great again.
Do you think that President Donald Trump behind the plan to send the precursor solar probe to the sun? Maybe he is the head of the idea?
No, the plan to send a spacecraft around the sun was already published in 2015.
Time passed, and we must finish again. Before we end, how do you think the relationship between you and NASA will be? You are putting a several number of things that directly hurt NASA and its reliability. Maybe NASA should change goals, or should NASA simply pull out an old dusty document about the suspicion that there was a black hole on the surface of the sun and that was why they were sending a spacecraft to the sun? As it will neutralize you, right?
I am sorry for the suspicions I cast on NASA and President-elect Donald Trump. I'm not a government company. Initiating, inventing, and researching my livelihood. The study had a risk that there would be no positive results, just as other initiators or studies I have failed. When successful research is supposed to compensate for all those years of failure and financial deficiency, it is quite possible that there is a recklessness on my part, and it is possible that the Americans would turn to me when the positive results of the study were clarified. But as I said, I am a private company and I cannot take any risk to give a chance that in another 2 years NASA may contact me to pay my pay. It is also unlikely that such a document exists. The purpose of looking for what generates the storms on the surface of the sun gives birth to the assumption that the senders already know the source, and only seek proof, but this is my discovery.
Thank you, Alon Yarrell. We'll meet on the next interview. We're done, thank you.